Good day and welcome back to Elementary 72 Gaming. So this is an update on my playthrough of New World. Now New World has entered into yet another season, and this is the Winter Wonderland season or the winter season. And I have some gripes with the game, and I will explain some of them in this one. And I am going to be actually a little bit more fair to the game in some aspects, because I do mention this here all the time. The game is absolute garbage, right? If you're playing this game, play it because you want to play with friends, or do not engage with this game. It is not for a person who's going to be solo, because if you're going to be solo, it is one of the most boring things you can do with your life. And I don't mean that they're hypothetically, I mean that actually physically this game is super boring if you don't have people to play with. Like right now I'm like super bored. Okay, but anyway, let's get into the whole story. This season we have the Silver Crows back with the storyline, and the storyline wasn't balanced correctly, and I'm gonna explain why. This character of mine is supposed to be a universal play. He's supposed to be able to jump into a dungeon and play as a DPS, or jump out of a dungeon and play as a tank. And as you can see, something is off with my stats right now. My dexterity is at 150, my strength is at 350, and my constitution is only at 139. Now I believe I can pull it up by about 8 points altogether. All of this points altogether will go up by 8 points, but I'm not 100% sure on that. And here is why this is such a problem. There was a mission in this whole process to complete the quest that required me to go full DPS. As a full tank, I couldn't survive that mission. It was impossible to survive. As a semi DPS with high resistance, I couldn't complete it. And I had two options. I could go full mage or I could go full DPS. And my weapons don't have that much of intelligence and focus, so I had no option but to go full DPS. And by doing this here, I actually managed to complete the mission. But it actually highlighted some negatives to do with their balancing. They haven't thought about the tanks, and I'm just going to open out something here in a few seconds. Yeah, I do have some rewards to still collect and things like that. Oh, it's already shifted. Sorry about that. I'm trying to find out where the... One of the biggest problems with raids right now is, if you're looking at them, they're always looking for tanks. Healers are also not so heavily nerfed with this here. They can still be a fully functioning mage with healing, right? So you can be a mage healer, so a DPS healer, and there's no real negative to it. But being a pure one-off tank is really difficult. It's going to drive you down, it's going to make it really difficult for you to compete, and on top of that there, your team needs all the other roles fulfilled, so that makes it quite difficult overall. And with tanks now being forced to relegate their points, some tanks will now decide it's easier to just be a DPS, and that's kind of where I am right now. I'm in full DPS mode, but I want to run around with heavy armor. That's because heavy armor negates most of the effects from the dungeons. It does limit my ability to dodge and roll, and I'll show you now. This is as best as I can do for a dodge. Oh yeah, my stamina runs out, I forgot about that. So yeah, that's just the basics of it. Now overall, the season isn't the very best, and it's not the very worst. You can go to every single settlement and collect all of the items that you want. It's not going to harm you in a negative way at all, and that's just about it. It's simple enough. You can keep running around, you can keep having fun. But what are the problems besides this? Because I'm obviously complaining about something and I haven't gotten to the point. the problem lies with the fact that they've relegated you to have to remove yourself from the game. You're going to and you're going to make it a secondary type play. Looking at this whole map, we've got here at the bottom, we've got First Light. Just look at it, now it became Elysian Wilds. We've got a whole lot of dungeons that are down here. Oh wait, let's see if there's anything. I've never ever completed Intermediate 1, never mind. Icebound is one that I will go through. They haven't been taking balance into consideration for any of these things. They haven't been upping the power for your tanking ability. They haven't been balancing out a tank and a healer. So in other words, a healer should be able to out-heal the damage that's done inside any one of these solo dungeons. A DPS should be able to out-DPS the damage done in those dungeons. A tank should be able to outlast all the damage being done in the dungeon. And they haven't actually been trying to make sure that that balance remains. You see, the problem was they needed to wipe out teams. And in order to wipe out teams, they didn't think about upping the defensive capability of a tank. Because defense is king. And without it, you're really ruined in terms of what you can do and what you can't do. Oh, sorry about this. I'm just going to go collect some resources. This isn't meant to be very long, but yeah, that's it. And the state of the game isn't in the worst of all places, except for the downloads. For updates, game has constantly done a game every 2 weeks. So you re-download the game every 2 weeks, and that is one of the biggest gripes that players have. While a small 112 meg update is recorded for users on other services, for users using Steam, doing 40 gigs for an update every single week has become ridiculous. We have heard from the dev team that they're trying to sort that out, but it still is ridiculous that they went and they proprietary locked the ability for you to download updates. Because a 112 megabyte update or a 1 gig update, who's going to bother with that? There's a 2-hour downtime, you're going to download it, you're going to be back on the game. Then there's the 40 gig download for all of our Steam users, and that is a 2-day downtime. Right? And the reason why I'm saying it's a 2-day downtime, in the first day you're going to do something else, you're going to play another game, you're going to wait for it to download, you're going to switch off your computer at night, you're going to come back the next day, you're going to finish off that download. By the time the download is done, you're going to be invested in something else for all of that time, and it's the end of the game for the day for you. So yeah, they've kind of divested you from playing the game, and it's one of the big gripes that a lot of players have had. I remember hearing about it on the discussion forum, and players have actually left the game because of that. So they're kind of driving their own player count down unintentionally, and I don't think that this is for the best of the game. Because if they keep this up, they're going to start complaining that the service doesn't have enough players, and they're going to want to cancel the game at the end of the day. So yeah, that's a big negative, and I definitely can see why people are so unhappy about those types of things. Most people have metered connections, so they don't have access to 40 gigs. They have access to about 100 or 200 gigs, and that's all that you have for playing the game. And I know what gripe it is to download this game. 2 or 3 days worth of downloads is quite heavy, and it takes me 2 days to do a full download of this game, which I've done about 3 times to fix errors within the game. So yeah, that is one of the more disturbing things within the game at the moment. There's no need to be greedy with regards to those resources. Anybody can grab it, and there's 3 orichalcum nodes on the other side. That didn't give me what I expected it to give me. Anyway, but yeah, that's just the basics behind all of the craziness that's going on within the game. I can't go too in detail and tell you that this is wrong and that is wrong, because there is no definite doing the very best, and you can't blame the devs for this here entirely. And this is more a higher management situation, because they aren't managing the situation correctly. It's falling out on the players. So you can take it however you want to. Maybe the devs need to fight higher management a little harder to give us what we need, or maybe we need to back off a little bit on them, such as myself, and think about how hard it is for them to do their job. But nonetheless, I'm not really going to back off too much, because I don't believe in just backing off for the sake of right sense, and you shouldn't be a half-hearted person when it comes to playing the games and doing things like that. You need to make sure that you're firm with what you say. You need to make sure that you're fair for most of it, and at the end of the day, if you are fair and you are firm, you're going to have a good output within the game. The game is going to feel fun. It's not going to be a drag, which the game does become at some points, because of some aspects of the game being very drag-like, and I can't deny those parts. But yeah, that's just the basic state of the game right now. I can't be 100%. The game is amazing. The player play and the feel of the game is amazing. No, that isn't there. That amazing feeling doesn't exist. It's just not there per se. Oh, sweet. Let's see if I have any bait on me. Oh, I do. I'm in search of the treasure chest, so is that there are other glitches within the game that I've been having a lot of problems with as of recent. One of the problems I've had with the game is in fact to deal with luck. Luck is a real big mess up within the game, and the reason behind it is quite simple. You see, things have a way of going all over the place within the game, and luck is one of those fields. It just doesn't play out right. And I'm also going to say something about being full DPS. It's one of the worst experiences I've had. Your durability doesn't make up for the amount of damage that you do in groups, and your survivability is really trash. So you trade in all of your good stats to do something subpar, and that's all that you get for it. You get a subpar outcome from playing the game, and I don't think many people are going to like that. They're going to complain. I don't think there's anybody who wouldn't complain about this here. But yeah, that's just the general basics that I feel about the game. It's a little bit lackluster. Okay, it's very lackluster. And as you can see, there's these things that you do just to pass time within the game. And I'm not really the biggest fan of fishing all the time. Sorry, I was about to sneeze. And I'm about to go and sit and fish for another couple hours to try and catch a treasure chest. And they are so rare because my luck is low and my rod is a really low level rod. So yeah, hopefully I'll upgrade everything sometime soon. Catch you all in the next one. And I'm bound to give you a little bit of an adventure when you come on to the next one. So see you all then. Have a good day.